showtime.
It's time for that radio show everyone loves.
Do not attempt to change the station. Just listen, and we'll keep broadcasting.
It's time to begin the show.
103.9 LI News Radio presents Your Island, the very best in talk radio, with your host, Tom Schiliro.
And once again, welcome back. This segment of our program is being brought to you by the Suffolk County Police Benevolent Association. The PBA serves to support law enforcement, participate in special events and programs, all designed to help protect our community. They care about you and keeping us all safe. From the anti-drinking and driving campaigns to protecting our children with education on the Megan's Law, PBA promotes a great relationship between the police and the people it's sworn to serve. Suffolk County is one of the safest counties in the country, and the PBA takes pride in its strong belief in our security. They have honored our fallen heroes and contribute greatly to our suburban way of life. Need to know more? Go right to that website, www.suffolkcountypba.org. Noel DiGirolamo, president, talking about opening the schools. I got Lisa Navarra, child behavior consulting, in the studio. We want to hear from the parents. I mean, there's not an exact science here. We want to hear from teachers. Which is the way to go with this? There was really no real guidance. Now, on August 7th, Governor Andy Cuomo did say schools can reopen with certain, probably limited type of guidelines. And just a programming note, tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m., LI in the AM with Jay Oliver will actually have Governor Cuomo on the show. So I'm going to say that a couple of times. It's such a key element to this whole discussion. So tomorrow morning, 8:30 in the morning, LI in the AM's Jay Oliver, right here on 103.9 LI News Radio. You can hear the governor and see what he has to say about all of this, and I'm sure that topic is going to be brought up. Let's see what the folks have to say. We got Christine over there in Smithtown. Christine, what say you?
I'm a teacher and a parent, and I feel okay about going back to school as long as we are taking the proper precautions. For example, everybody wearing masks, having partitions up, more space in between the students, and so on. Okay, so you feel safe under that. What district do you work in, Christine? I work in Farmingdale. Oh, Farmingdale. Okay. So, Lisa, what would you say to Christine? Christine has a good attitude about it.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Christine, for calling in today. So now, can you explain what grade do you teach? And are you afraid that maybe some of your students, they might not keep their masks on and abide by the space, or you feel as though, they're ready and they will be respectful and understand the importance of keeping these protocols intact? I feel that, I teach 8th grade for middle school, and I have been noticing, I just went to an event and all the students kept their masks on, and it was outside. So I'm hopeful that they will be respectful of the new protocol. But, the question will arise, what do you do when they do take the mask off? I don't know. But if everybody's wearing a mask, or most of them, I would hope it should be okay. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. We've been out of the mask for so long. We'll have to see.
Because the latest, or the last time you were in a classroom, pretty much, Christine, was sometime mid-March. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So it's been a while. But we're offering, this is part of the answer that I'm looking for. Open the schools, take the precautions. That's what Christine is saying. That's right. And how do you feel about going back? This is a big transition now, going from homeschool to online. Let's get out of school quickly. Now we're at the summer and we're preparing. And how do you feel about transitioning back to the school environment?
I feel pretty confident in it. I feel that the precautions have been made, and I feel that they're doing a good job trying to get everybody back safely as possible.
Okay, I want to get to some other calls. Christine, thank you. Thanks for calling in, and good luck on your new school year, albeit it's still the new normal. But let's do something here. We've got to do something. We've got to get this thing going. Jay from Medford. Hey, Jay, you're on the air.
Hey, how are you?
Good. What do you say?
As an educator and as a parent myself, I have no hesitations about going back. I love what I do. Okay. Not being in a classroom is uncomfortable for me. Okay. But I do understand the need for precautions, and some of the areas where I have concerns are, for example, in middle school and high school, it's a little easier, to get students to wear masks. When you're teaching kindergarten, first grade, second grade, that could be tough. They're babies. That might be difficult. And having kids not want to hug each other. Little kids, these are some of the obstacles that I think I foresee happening. But I mean, if we look at some of the other states that started opening, first day of school, kids running around, diagnosed with corona. I think it just may be an unfortunate. It's going to happen. It's not an if circumstance. Yeah, it might be more of a when circumstance.
Right. Okay. Well, then again, the balance there, maybe there could be almost a compromise. Maybe the younger children might not be ready to come back because of the lack of the ability to take these type of precautions. That could be part of it. Lisa?
Good point. But then we get to the space. Then we get to how much space do we have?
Well, there's the buildings themselves. There's the schematics of how to put this thing together with the classrooms and the teachers and the 12 kids in a class when you normally have 28 kids in a class. Just very difficult. Looking forward to going back, Jay, if it does happen.
Yeah, I'm prepping as we speak.
Okay, very good. What district do you work in, Jay?
Looking forward.
Where do you work?
I'm sorry?
What district?
Pat Med.
Oh, Patrick Medford. Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it. 631-451-1039. Good old Jeff from Middle Island. Jeff, what say you?
Yeah, Tom, how you doing?
Good. What do you think?
What I think is kids have to be back in school. They need it. They need schooling. They need to be near their friends or be with their friends and classmates. They are growing emotionally in schools, particularly when they're young. I think that the little kids need it as much as the bigger kids.
Yes.
You're only young once, and that's what I think. Now, regarding the comment you had about Dr. Gupta,
yeah.
Sanjay Gupta.
Yep. He was
Sanjay Gupta. Yes, Mr. Gupta. The fact that he has an MD after his name means nothing to me because he's as big a phony and fraud as any one of those mouthpieces on CNN. What I remember most about Dr. Gupta was him yelling at Dr. Jackson, who was Trump's medical doctor, when he reported that Trump was in good shape, and he refused to accept that, claiming that Trump had to have cardiovascular disease, even though the good Dr. Gupta never examined Mr. Trump. That's what I know about Dr. Gupta. He's a phony, fake fraud. Period. In the end, he wants to keep his kids back from school. That's his problem. That's his kid's problem. It's not going to be my grandson's problem.
Okay.
That's what I have to say.
I just want to add a point to that. Again, very important to get the kids back to school. But what about precautions? Just let it go. Let's go back to pre-March and just do it that way.
Tom, reasonable precautions.
Reasonable precautions. Okay.
Life has risks to it, no matter what you do. Okay? Everything has a risk to it. Go drive a car, there's a risk to it. I'm not saying to be reckless. I'm saying the kids need to be back in school with proper guidance, proper precautions, fair enough.
Okay.
But they didn't stay home.
Trying again, before I want to end the show today, I want to come up with at least something. If it's going to be that, and I think we're moving in that direction, open the schools, obviously, teachers, students, get back in, but take the necessary precautions that they're. Lisa, just weigh in on what Jeff's saying?
Yes, with the proper precautions, absolutely. And while we're talking about the proper precautions, we also need to remember that if these protocols remain for the next school year, for next September, now we are looking at more of a need to get kids into school full time. So what does that mean? That means smaller class sizes, half the amount. And what does that mean now? More budgeting, more room, because now they have to hire more teachers. So that way, what one teacher used to be assigned to for students, say 30, now that teacher has 15. And so now to cover the 30 kids, we need 2 teachers just so we can get kids in full time.
It's evident that cannot be fiscally maintained as it is.
And space is going to be a problem, but it might just come up.
Yeah. It could.
May I respond to that very quickly?
Sure.
My grandson is going back to school 5 days a week in his school district up in Westchester.
Okay.
But it's going to be half day.
Half day, okay.
And the other half of the kids, are going to go in the other half day. And he's going into second grade. He was in first grade. He got yanked out in March, like with all the other kids, right? So they're going to have to make up a little ground with the children. And so he'll be part-time, half-time one day. And then, the other kids come in the afternoon, the next half day. As far as fine, get some more teachers. President Trump wanted to put $110 billion into education. Okay, Democrats did not want that. It is in the Democrats' interest to keep this going. This not hoax, because it's the truth. It's a problem out there, but they want to keep people fearful for this against what's going on for as long as possible.
I agree with that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I do. I agree.
November 4th, everything will be just fine.
We just have to get there. We just got to get to November.
We'll get there, and we'll get there in 100. Americans do not run from challenges. It's a challenge. We can get through it.
Love it.
Love it. Exactly. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate your thoughts. 631-451-1039. Cleo over there in Longwood. Hey, Cleo, you're on the air.
Hi, it's your favorite school bus driver.
Hey,
that's right, Cleo. That's
all right.
Yeah. Cleo, what are they saying to you? You're going back? Is there going to be barriers in the bus? I mean, how could you even do it? You can't have social distancing in a school bus. Where's the social distancing?
Yeah, we're doing one seat each. It's going to be one seat each, and our company is working diligently with the Suffolk Transportation and getting, the seating charts and everything. So the children will be sitting one to each seat, and they're going to be loaded from the back to the front. That's what we're working on.
Okay.
And they will be sitting behind the driver. That's what's in the talk or whatever. The problem that I was having is that, and I want to ask you, doctor, is that do you feel that this is a different strain? Because back then in March, when we first came out, we didn't have children getting sick. Like how we are like in the thousands now with children getting sick, especially with them going back to school.
Well, I mean,
that's where I come from.
Yeah, I said earlier that it's not that we evolved from March to now mid-April and things have drastically, because I'm talking nationwide. They have on Long Island.
Right.
Let's say that they have on Long Island. But as far as the nation's concerned, we're seeing more hotspots now than we saw in March. And yet now the consideration, Florida, the governor DeSantis of Florida said, we're opening. If it's a brick and mortar school, we want it open the way it was. I mean, somewhat of an attitude that, okay, this is the way it's going to be. I don't believe in this stuff anymore. This is what they're kind of taking that point of view there too. So, again, looking at these numbers, how do we do both? Again, I think we're getting to something here on this program today. I think we're getting to the point that we want to open these schools. That's why I'd asked you kind of precautions. Lisa?
Yes. So I'd like to ask you as well. How do you feel about driving on the bus with kids? How do you feel about the precautions being made? Do you feel okay?
Well, that's why I was asking you, how do you feel? Do you feel that this is a different strain? Because back then they wasn't talking about children, about children having this whatever. And if you're bringing this back home to parents and the elderly, if this is a different strain and they had it already, how does that affect them? Because they're going to want to be around their grandkids.
Of course. So that's a good question, but it's out of my scope because I'm not a doctor. And so, that's why I can't really comment on that. But we are trying to bring to light, So we're trying to bring to light how people are feeling and how they're preparing for this change in September.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that what's going on is, like I said, we're going to be disinfecting the buses. That's one of our daily routine. As bus drivers, we're going to be disinfecting. We're going to make sure that the children, while they're on the bus, that their masks are on. They are, like I said again, there's going to be a lot of social distancing even on the bus. But remember, before even they had an issue of a coronavirus, when one child come on the bus with a cold, the whole bus catches it.
Right.
So I understand how that would be that they want them to social distance. So that's something that we are implementing, and that is coming in for the new school year. Now, as far as my issue is with a lot of the districts with coming through, they don't have their plans together. We can't plan if you don't plan. So a lot of them are getting their plans together, which to me, I feel like these plans should have been intact. Like, what are we going to do when school opens up? Again, this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
So we're at a backlog right now waiting for the districts to give us their plans for what they want us to do.
Somebody unanswered questions. This is frustrating. Cleo, one thing I'm getting from you is that you care about your job and you care about the kids and you care about their safety.
Yes.
And I'm happy to hear your voice on this show, given what you're saying. But Lisa, respond. I mean, it's just...
two things. Okay. One is I want to shift it just a little bit for a minute because you had mentioned the schools, and we have to work together and in such a multidisciplinary way that we've never worked before. So I want you to tell Tommy to call Lisa, and I want to make a suggestion, and that suggestion is, if possible, because the children's day begins and ends with you on that bus, and you guys are so important, and that experience is monumental to the way that they transition into school and on the way home. And so my suggestion would be, can you take a video of what the bus is going to look like, what is expected, and talk with the administrators at the schools so they can post it on their websites, preparing the children and preparing the families of what is expected. So then it makes your bus ride easier, and there'll be more cooperation to keep those safety measures intact. So that would be a suggestion.
And to move in that direction. It's a tough one.
All the parents that are listening right now, we did do something like that. It's on News 12.
Yes.
You would see Tommy, and they did do, a video about it, showing what the buses are going to look like, what they think for the school year. For anybody that wants to see what's going on, they're welcome to go on News 12 or even Google it, and they will see it with Suffolk Transportation and what's coming in for the new year. And hopefully everything will go as planned, and we can move forward, to the next year, because right now we're just planning. We're in the planning phase.
Right.
Once everything is implemented, we'll be ready to go. It's just a catch-22. We're trying to get off the ground.
Right.
And I believe that we could get off the ground. I believe
good
that
for you.
can happen.
Good for you.
I have one more quick question for you.
Boy, we're putting Cleo on the spot.
We are. Can I keep you for a second?
I'm telling you.
All right. Here's the last question. Then we're going to let you go. Aren't you glad you called in today? I want to know, is there a policy or procedure in place if you have a student who is refusing to wear the mask on the bus?
Well, when that comes down to it, we're working closely with the school for the health of the children.
Great.
And we're making sure we implement that there is help. Now, if some children do have asthma and other issues that maybe they won't be able to wear it, and that is going to come down directly from the district to us, what they want us to do with that. Right. So that's something else that we're mapping out right now as we speak. As well as they speak, they're mapping it out, and they'll definitely pass it on to us as drivers of what they want us to do and how they want us to move with it. But I'm quite sure that it will be something that, because we can't have it to the point that everybody don't want to wear masks, because, of course, we're dealing with children.
Yeah.
The end of the school year, the end of the school day, nobody's not going to want to wear a mask, especially September, October. It's still hot.
Yeah.
It's still going to be hot.
Unless they get a fashionable one, with Big Bird or whatever. I don't know. Is that the Big Bird is still there? I don't even know.
Thank you
Cleo,
so much. You're wonderful.
Thank you so much, Cleo, and good luck. Yeah, good luck. We appreciate that. Just a couple of minutes left. Lisa, give me your scenario. What would you think would be effective learning and keeping everybody healthy, and how it should start right after Labor Day, first day of school? What do you think?
What I think is that we need to stay calm, and we're going to have to accept what our district has been working on all summer long. We're going to have to embrace it to the best of our ability, because at this point it is what it is. And we need to all work together and support each other at this point and not fight against each other. And so with that comes with adjusting to the new schedule in school and out of school. Many have that hybrid model. And if you're in school 100% of the time, just calmly remind your children the reasons for taking these safety protocols, but not with the sense of being alarming, because we don't want to add that into their life, because they need to ultimately learn and not have to, quote unquote, worry about, is my mask on? Am I doing the right thing? And so we want to just be very pragmatic about it. And be
so you support the hybrid concept?
I got to tell you, I'm not 100% on any of it until we get there.
All right. I'm just going to go with the fact. Let's just open the schools. Let's take our precautions. Let's monitor the situation. temperature checks, things like that, do all of that. But to me, this hybrid learning, this virtual learning, it really wasn't successful. I'm getting that from the teachers. I'm getting that from the students. So let's get back into the schools and just really keep monitor it and do the best we could to try to create more of a normal than a new normal.
They have to be in school to some degree at the very minimum. Okay. We want them in 100% of the time. That's really ideal.
Hopefully we made some headway on a very, very difficult topic. When we get back, Rich Chris, Republican strategist, upstate New York, talking about Kamala Harris and what that means to the country, what it means to the ticket, what it means to the race come November 3rd. Once again, special thanks to Lisa Navarro, Child Behavior. Quick phone number?
631-617-1958. Like us on Facebook and our YouTube channel, Child Behavior Consulting. Hope to see you there.
Okay, once again, Lisa Navarro. I'm Tom Schiliro. We're going to take a short break. Final segment coming up. Political strategist Rich Chris coming up.